What's up, YouTube? It's Akali-sama coming at you with another Hogwarts Legacy video. Today I wanted to kind of do a to buy or not to buy video, but with a little bit of a twist. Um, in that I'm gonna tell you straight away my answer is basically yes. Um, if you're a fan of open world RPGs and if you're a fan of the Harry Potter universe, um, then yeah, my answer hands down is going to be to buy Hogwarts Legacy. It has been a blast playing this game. Really, really fun. But that being said, I will admit that I am extremely biased. The Harry Potter universe has been a big, big part of my life. I've been reading the books and watching the movies since I was a teenager. I'm 30 years old now, and I am so much of a Harry Potter nerd that I read Harry Potter fan fiction um, literally every day. So if that doesn't tell you that my answer would be yes, then I don't know what would. So instead of giving you guys a video about this is all the things that is amazing about Hogwarts Legacy, I actually wanted to do more of a gripes and complaints, um, and basically just kind of detail a couple of different things that I found while playing, that may or may not be things that would be minor and or major game breakers for you, um, which would lead you to not purchasing it if you haven't already, um, or uh, just give you some ideas on how you can recommend it to other people who are trying to make the same decision. Um, so at this point, I've got like over 120 hours into this. I'm pretty much 100% on everything except for on the map. There's like some little treasure vaults that are left that I haven't really cared about because there's nothing attached to them, like a achievement wise or anything like that. And then as far as the achievements are concerned, I think I've got like five left. One of them is some collectibles. I think I've got like 10 collectibles left. And then you can like replay as a different house. And I just don't care enough to do it, honestly. At this point, I'm pretty much done playing. I've had my fun. I've burnt myself out. um, but but I do have, like I said, pretty much 120 plus hours into this. So take everything that I say with a grain of salt. I've been playing for quite a long time, and some of the stuff that is annoying to me now was endearing at first. For instance, the Floo Bitch. Whenever you use your map to fast travel to one of the Floo locations, which I'm not going to do it now because I don't have the audio turned on in game because it is way too loud for recording. Um, but whenever you flew to one of these locations, there's this chick who is basically she's dead and now she's like hangs as a portrait or a statue, whatever, over the Floo locations, and she says like two or three sentences um, every single time in this super annoying, like high pitched voice. Yeah. Apparently there are mods that you can get. I don't know which ones. I haven't actually researched it myself. I've just seen it in passing. But there are mods that you can get. So if that's something that you know would be a like a game breaker for you, where oh my god, this side character is just repeating this thing over and over and over again, you can mod it out at least on PC. I don't know how that works on consoles. Um, the next one that I had is not one that's super controllable. This is just a kind of a minor gripe, and that's the preparing shaders and the loading timers. Loading timers in game, not a big deal. Like for instance, when I want to fast travel and go to a Floo location, I click the Floo location, it comes up with this little hint screen and it'll cycle through one or two hints, and then usually like three, and then should load in right about now. I say, and it does nothing. Oh my God, what's happening? There we go. Still, wasn't horrible, probably about 15, 20 seconds for that loading time. Uh, it's the initial startup that kills me. Um, I've read a couple of different things on it, and it looks like it's basically just whether or not your hardware can handle it. I've got a really nice computer, but it's a really nice computer from roughly 5 years ago. And so when I initially turn the game on, it pops up with the little seizure warning. Um, and then it goes to a black screen, and it says it's preparing shaders. And sometimes it takes like 30 seconds to a minute to even get to that screen, and then once it does, it usually takes about 60 seconds to finish loading that. So this isn't really a complaint, this is more of a warning. If you don't have a super high-end PC, or if you're not playing on the newest console system, whatever, just know that this game does take a lot of resources. And so when you first start it up, it can take anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes before I'm actually able to get into the game and start playing. But once I'm in game, it's not too bad, even with an older system like mine. Usually loading screens are only about 10 to 20 seconds. Um, the menus, the menus are just kind of bad. I'm not sure how else to say that. If you use the correct hotkeys, like for me, I'm using I to open my inventory, and then if I close it by hitting I, then I'm good. It goes right back to where I was, to my character, and then to inventory, and back and forth, no problem. But if I hit escape, instead it backs over and goes to this whole other screen. I'm just trying to back out. Why? Um, and it doesn't matter which keys you hit. Like I go to my map and then try to escape out. Nope, if I escape out, it goes back to this one. Like, why did you make escape go to this? It's the back key. That's, yeah, okay. You might be able to change that with hotkeys. Maybe not. One thing that I would recommend that you change with the hotkeys, especially if you're on PC, for some reason they made the action wheel tab. You can change that in the hotkeys. I made mine my roll bar, clicking on the roll wheel on my mouse. Clicking on that roll wheel opens the action bar for me. Um, because I found myself hitting tab like all the time, and I'd just be like throwing out chomping cabbages, and I'm like, I didn't want to do that at all, or I'd be using potions on accident. I'm just like, that's. It was a weird key for them to put that on because it's a quick action key. Like you push and hold to open it, yes, but if you tap it, then that uses it. And so with it being on tab, which is so close to your movement keys and everything, like it's easy to accidentally tap it and use things without meaning to. So I would suggest putting it on a different hotkey. For me, I like that center roll wheel clicking down. Um, the outfits. If you like in World of Warcraft, if you like transmogging your gear, you're gonna hate this. At least my tastes. Obviously, this is personal preference, but for my taste, the outfits are just fucking shit. Um, like there's only a couple capes, and they all look like I'm trying to be like a Star Wars imperialist. Um, the Dark Arts pack, if you bought the Dark Arts pack, um, I don't even know what to say on this one. I just like it's edgelord as fuck. Um, I'm not gonna lie. I would be edgy enough to wear it depending on the situation in game. But for this game, you're a student who's running around and you're learning dark arts and shit, but you're trying to hide it from teachers. I'm sorry if a teacher sees a student in this cloak with skulls and clouds of doom all over it. they're just gonna be like off to the asylum with you, and you're gonna go to your masks and have to put on your asylum mask there, okay? Um, but speaking of the asylum masks, like the headwear and the eyewear, they were like, oh yeah, I remember one of the videos. They were all excited about the options they were gonna have for glasses and stuff. And then you get in here, and these glasses options, they just all look stupid, or like they're just like these ones, not these ones. Yeah, these ones. They're just like, haha, we're totally doubling down on the Harry Potter trope. Like, you're not supposed to be Harry Potter in this game. It's totally different, and this is like however many hundreds of years ago, or I don't know, I don't remember how long it's supposed to be. I was okay with these. These are pretty much what I rocked the whole game. But like the masks and shit, like who would want to wear that? What? I get that some people are into the cutesy pie shit. I'm not into the cutesy pie shit, so like all of these, I was just like, what the fuck is this? This is stupid. The dark arts mask, I was like, really? I mean, it's literally just okay. You want to be a Death Eater? Here you go, be a Death Eater. Death Eaters don't even remotely exist at this point. Yeah. Again, personal gripe, personal preference. Um, oh god, I gotta change that back before it just kills my soul. But I wasn't seeing a lot of anything that I liked throughout the whole game, and just a lot of the things were just ridiculous. I was like, why? Why is this a thing? Why is this a thing in Hogwarts Legacy? Who wants to be running around in this while playing Hogwarts Legacy? Unless you've got some really weird role playing you're doing in your head, which hey, more power to you. Have at it. But preferences, preferences. um, outside of that, though, the gear itself, not just your transmog ability and how shit looks, the gear itself is honestly superfluous. After like level 25, maybe level 30, um, I would honestly say at any point within the game, you can just ignore green and blue gear. Like when you first start, obviously equip anything because you don't have anything equipped yet. But after that, once you get your first gold piece, um, if it's blue or green, just destroy it. And then once you get an orange piece, identify it and then see whether or not it gives you more uh, a stat increase. Um, and then just replace gold pieces. Like your blue and green pieces that you pick up, except for the very first couple levels of the game, honestly, they're just a source of galleons. Um, travel, travel. Uh, travel pissed me off quite a bit, and I've seen that being reflected in some comments on some of my last videos, and then some other videos and things that I've seen around. People are not really happy with the travel options, um, and I understand because travel is shit. Which is probably disappointing for a lot of people, especially if anyone bought like the Dark Arts Pass. Because the Dark Arts Pass, like you got the Dark Arts regalia, which honestly, like I only like the gloves and the like outfit itself. Like the hat is stupid, the robes are stupid that I showed you already. Um, but then you got the Thestral mount, and then I want to say you got the Black Griffin, but that might have been for something else. Um, but honestly, as far as mounts are concerned, you're basically never going to use anything but your broom. The Graphorn, you're gonna use that for like one quest, and then outside of that one quest, there's no reason to use this thing. The broom is faster, it's easier to control. You're not gonna do what I just did a second ago and hit random walls that you can't get over. It has stamina that runs out, like I just did. Like there's, yeah, no point in using the grab horn. Um, now, that's not even that bad. That's just like, oh, okay, it's a ground mount, and I can use the ground mount if I feel like using the ground mount. Wow, that's actually the first time that I've seen a dragon in the wild in this game. Interesting. 120 hours, and that's the first time. Back to what I was talking about. Um, you're only going to use the broom because the griffin slash thestral, it fucking sucks. Um, for one thing, it takes forever to pull out. It takes forever to pull out of the bag. Um, then it takes forever to take off. Okay. Now, I'm not sure. I want to say that the Griffin and the Thestral technically have a faster speed than the Broom does. Um, I'm really not positive. I think that it does. But unless you're going down like this, um, if you stop because you're going towards the quest location, or I see an enemy over here, so I want to go over to this enemy and then stop right on it. If you don't already have momentum and then you're trying to go down, it takes forever for the Thestral or the Griffin to get low enough to even be able to land. And then I'm not going to land in front of that enemy just so I can fucking actually show you without getting into combat. Once you do get down far enough to land, first it has to stop moving, and then you can hit your dismount button, and it takes that long to put it away. I'm sorry, but I will take being able to be sprinting along like this and then just go boom and then hit my button and I'm off and flying. I'll take that any day. Sorry. And then as far as landing is concerned, doesn't matter if I've got momentum or not. If I'm stopped, doesn't matter how high up I am. It descends way faster than the Thestral does, and then boom, I'm done, I'm landed, and I'm moving. I, I just personally have not used that grab horn since the one quest that it had me use it, and then I used the Thestral for like 5 or 10 minutes when I was first playing the game in the first couple of hours, and it was fun for the experience. And then once I actually got into trying to get back into playing the game, it just makes playing the game a chore. Um, talents. Um, so the talents overall are pretty good. This one's not even really much of a gripe. Um, it's more of a warning. Um, so as far as talents are concerned, I'm pretty sure most everyone knows by now, unless you don't own the game, and that's why you're watching this. Um, talent points are non-refundable, and you have a max allotment. Um, But that being said, I am max level. I have spent all of my talents, and you can see that I only have 5 that I don't own in spells, and then 7 that I don't own in Room of Requirement. Talents could have used a lot more work. The Dark Arts talents I liked the best. Um, they just synced up really well with each other. They made it to where I actually wanted to set up my bars for the Dark Arts abilities, um, at least for this playthrough. Um, and so it was cool. I liked the Dark Arts talents, but then the rest of them were just kind of bland. Um, some of them were okay. Some of them were cool. Like this one was kind of cool. Um, but then some of them were just like, why is this a talent? Um, where is it? Yeah, like all these ones. The room requirement talents, upgrades for your potions, which I think I've said in a previous video. Like, I don't use the potions ever. The only time I used potions was for combat challenges. Um, And then like I brewed potions and I grew plants for the achievement, but like I never ever used potions or plants with the exception of Wiggenwald, um, unless it was a combat challenge. But yeah, that's again that's personal preference. But I just thought that there could have been so many more options. For talents, possibly for like putting in new spells where you have to have so many points in this tree in order to be able to unlock this spell. Um, they had a lot of room here, and I think they missed the mark. But again, this one's not really more much of a gripe. It's more of a just kind of, at this point, just kind of going through the different systems. Um, the combat though, okay, so the combat is actually really fun. Um, if not a bit easy, it does seem really hard to die. That being said, I will not lie. I will not claim to be any better than I am. I've totally have been playing on normal. I have not been playing on hard. Whenever I play these single player RPG games like this, I'm definitely more focused on the storyline. I want a challenge, but I'm not looking to come in here and spend, instead of 120 hours, 240 hours because I'm dying every 30 seconds. So, um, on normal difficulty at least, the combat is fun. It's engaging. It's super fun to like rip axes out of people's hands and then throw them at someone else's head and throw exploding barrels at people and turn people into chickens, and it's cool. It's fun. It's engaging. It's very action based. It is predictable and a little slow, at least on normal. I can't speak for hard. I haven't even tried it. Um, I want to say there's a difference with your Protego Stupefy combo on hard difficulty, but I'm not sure, so I don't want to speak on it. But overall, I would say combat is good, if not a bit easy. Um, Quest and storyline. This one I almost hesitate to say because I feel like I'm gonna get hate for it, but I'm gonna say it anyways. Um, the storyline was forgettable. Now that could very well come from the fact that I was drunk quite a bit while playing. um, but I went back and I mean I read some reviews on the storyline and I read like recaps on the storyline and I was like, okay, yeah, like I remember playing through that now that you've said that's what happened. But like even having just reread the storyline, and I mean like recently. I mean I did this before making this video like an hour or two ago. Um, even having recently reread the storyline, it's kind of forgettable. It is made up for by the fact that I'm running around using magic and spells, and it's the Hogwarts Harry Potter universe, and I'm doing these things in Hogwarts and Hogsmeade and the surrounding areas in the Forbidden Forest. Um, but it really is forgettable, and they kind of just take certain things from the Harry Potter universe and throw them at you. Like, okay, Headmaster Black, he's a black, and so in your mind, you're supposed to associate that with evil, dark, pure blood. And so, hence, here's evil, dark, pure blood, Professor Black, and Caro, and Yaxley, and Rookwood, and you hear these names, and lo and behold, they're bad guys that you're facing. And they just kind of double down on it, and it's nothing really new or exciting. Um, they just kind of throw you into it right from the very beginning, which I mean most of these games do. There's usually some crazy big cinematic in the beginning that throws you into your epic adventure, and that's definitely what happens here. But it does just feel a little forced, maybe. Um, but that being said, there's a lot of content. There's a lot of quality content that, although it is forgettable, it is worth a playthrough. And honestly, not even just worth a playthrough. At this point in time, currently, yes, I am burnt out personally. Um, will I be coming back to do additional playthroughs of this game? Absolutely. It's still a good game. Um, yeah, the storyline's forgettable, but that just means that it'll make it more enjoyable when I come back and play it again. Because it was honestly really fun running around Hogwarts and running around Hogsmeade and everything. Like it's just fun. Um, and then the only other thing that I wanted to mention as far as quest and storyline is just kind of a shout out to whoever made the decision that as far as side quests, more specifically side relationship quests are concerned, that in total you would have 69 relationship quests, and just props for that. Good job. um, the map. I'm the map. Swiper, no swiping. Uh, the map is incredibly cluttered. So basically, just be warned that you need to be sober enough to at least be able to recognize the symbols. There's a lot of symbols on here that don't disappear until you go and complete whatever objective is at those symbols. And then, in order to actually be able to go in and complete all of the objectives, you do have to zoom in real close. And once you do zoom in all the way, there's a shit ton of stuff on here. Most of mine is already gone because I've done pretty much everything except for go collect these treasure vaults. But there's a lot of stuff. That could be a good thing for you. That could be a bad thing for you. For me, it's one of those things where if I'm playing one of those games, something like this, something like Assassin's Creed, where it has like zones, and then in those zones, like over here on the top right, where it shows like number out of number, well, my brain sees number out of number, and if it's not 117 out of 117, my brain says, "You are a failure. Go complete it." So, yeah, that could be a good thing for you. That could be a bad thing for you. Just know that there is a shit ton of collectibles in order to hit the 100%. Um, this is just for outside of Hogwarts and Hogsmeade. Hogsmeade has its own individual numbers, which aren't as bad, but that 55 field guide pages is enough. And then Hogwarts, the 150 field guide pages at Hogwarts, yeah, that's a bitch. Um, Honestly, as far as like the field guide pages are concerned, I didn't mind the field guide pages that much. That's part of your challenges is to collect field guide pages, which, if you don't know, challenges are how you get XP. The only way that you get XP. You're not going to hit level 40 until you have all these at 100%. um, excuse me. What was I saying? Field guide pages. I honestly didn't have much of a problem with these because most of them, or at least a good majority of them, would have some little blip pop up, and it'd be like you collect this field guide page, and here's this cool little bit about whatever you're looking at that you got the field guide page in front of. Um, but then there were also just a shit ton of them that were, here's this statue hidden in a corner that you have to levitate an orb off of, and here's this wall sconce that you have to light on fire, and like they're in obscure ass places. And I'm sorry, but like I said, like when I have one of these maps that has these numbers on it, if I don't complete it, I feel like a failure, which means I must do it. And I don't have the patience to go around looking for these things myself at all. So I won't lie, I definitely have used the wondrous creations that other content creators have made on YouTube in order to find my way around this ginormous ass castle and get all of these things. Like I want to say, for instance, one of those random wall sconces is on this wall. It's somewhere here, I think, if I remember correctly. But one of the ones that you have to like light on fire with an incendio. Why? Why would I be looking for that? It's just, it's so dumb. Um, but yeah, it's a love hate kind of thing. There's a lot of shit. There's 95 Merlin trials, y'all. 95 of them. And I sincerely hope that they put in a hotfix soon that lets you just like change a setting that just allows you to automatically skip Merlin Trials cutscenes. There was an article about it that I read, I want to say yesterday or the day before that. But apparently, if you go and do all 95 of those Merlin Trials, it is a total of 16 minutes worth of unskippable Merlin Trial completion scene. Ugh. Yeah, that's one of those minor deal breakers for me. um, Last thing I have on the map is how to go south. That was one thing that really bugged me. I don't remember if it randomly popped up in the storyline. It might have. That there may have been an explanation at some point in the storyline. But if you are like me, um, and when you play one of these games, especially like Assassin's Creed, I don't do jack shit until I've collected all the travel points. Every single last one. I always go get all the travel points before I do anything else because I know that I'm going to go back and like 100% the map. Um, if you're doing that and you're going through and you're collecting them all, suddenly you're going to get over here to the Coastal Cavern and the South Sea Bog, and you're not going to be able to get over to Poidsir Coast. If you go and collect, which one is it? I think it's this one is where I got stuck on. Um, you tell yourself that you want to go and collect this one, and the map doesn't really tell you where to go. It's right here. It's right here. You enter some caves, and then you run through those caves, and you'll get this Floo point. Continue running through the caves, you'll get this Floo point, and then you exit the caves, and you'll get this Floo point. If you just like tell your map, okay, I want to go over here and start collecting this, or I want to go over to this Floo point, and you try to fly through, there's big red walls of doom that won't let you pass, and you cannot get through. Um, and at this point, I imagine that's probably closer to common knowledge, or that there's more content out there showing it. But when I was doing it on day 2 of game release, yeah, there wasn't any content telling you where to go, so it kind of sucked. And then last but not least, really the only thing that I had left was the room of requirement. Um, I don't know if this one's really a gripe or not, because again, this one's just really big on personal preference. I'm not big on the cutesy pie things. I don't give a shit about it. So for me, the room of requirement and the aviaries or bestiaries, whatever the hell you call them, um, it very quickly just became a chore. Um, it's why I put out my previous video on like room of requirement efficiency, and how I do things to make things as efficient as possible for me. Um, so yeah, I mean that's really all I got to say about it. It's good for what it is. It's a chore, but if you like the cutesy pie shit, and or if you like player housing, I also don't like player housing, but if you do like player housing, there's a lot of really cool Hogwarts universe collectible um, inspired shit that you can go decorate with, like all of this shit that you can get. Um, and those room of requirement rooms, you've got four of them, and they're big. They're actually really big inside of their vivariums. That's what I'm looking for. It's right here on this screen that I'm looking at. Um, those vivariums are a lot bigger than they look when you first go into them. They also have some hidden conjurations. If you didn't know that, each vivarium has three different hidden conjurations in there that you can go find. um, but yeah, overall, that's really it. I know this is definitely different from anything that I've done before. And like I said, it wasn't really a hey, here's all the things that I love about Hogwarts Legacy. This was all the shit that I don't like about Hogwarts Legacy, and I wish that they would fix in some way. Um, but I hope that it has given you guys a little bit of an eye opener if you were still on the fence on whether or not you wanted to purchase, or if you have any friends who are looking to purchase and were on the fence. That this just gives you some more ideas on things that may or may not be a deal breaker for you. Hope you guys liked it. If you did, please leave me a like and subscribe, and leave me a comment down below. Any feedback is much appreciated. Constructive criticism is always great. And let me know what you guys want to see in the future. Like I said, I'm probably done playing Hogwarts Legacy myself for a little bit. I may or may not make one or two more videos on it unless anyone asks for something specifically. But outside of that, I'm kind of open to ideas and thinking about what games to move on to next. So give me ideas. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.